How's it going today, everyone? This is KaijuFanatic bringing you a not-so-new brand new figure review. Today we're looking at the MonsterArts Gigan 1972. First, let's look at the box really quick. The front of the art is absolutely beautiful. Top is nice. The side, I love this profile pic. I love how the back looks nice and clean and shiny. The side is just kind of bland. The bottom is cool with flying Gigan, and that's the box. So let's move on to the figure. Gigan 72 is an absolutely beautiful looking figure. I will not deny the paint and the sculpt on this figure is fantastic. I love the way that eye looks. It's just gorgeous. It's red. It's got like the honeycomb-esque look in it. The visor, it's beautiful. The head sculpt is on point with that 72 suit. We do have a little bit of paint whoopsie daisy there on that third spike, but not too bad. And then we have this, and I believe this is on every figure. You can tell that it's not sculpted completely, but it's weird that they just kind of spray painted it and didn't fix the sculpt. I don't know how I feel about that. That is very, very odd, and I don't think I've ever seen anyone talk about it, but better not to waste any more time on it for right now. I'm liking the green they chose, the Ghidorah scales, because the suit was made off of leftover Ghidorah scales, if you didn't know that, fun fact. And that's why it looks fantastic and very similar to Ghidorah. And they just killed it, which doesn't surprise me because the Heisei Ghidorahs are fantastic. The arms and claws look beautiful. The green looks like kind of like a skin, and then it looks like the sickle hands are coming out, and it's just a nice look. The legs are super cracked and like the rough looking. They look like a desert kind of, and then the green they chose is nice. I just absolutely love the way it looks. Going down here on the tail, I love the stripe that goes kind of under and on the side all the way up down to that pointy tip. That's very, very nice. The bottom here looks good. They got it right. You know, the gold doesn't go all the way down, and they got it right at the right spot, about midway down. Now, a few of these little points here have some missing paint and incomplete paint, like it's a Godzilla's mouth. It's not too bad, not too distracting, but I have to note it because it is there. The sails. Now, as you guys probably know, because this figure's been out for quite a while, these are pretty damn fragile, and I have to admit, if this figure tipped over with the tip of these being landed on, they're definitely breaking, but I love the aesthetic these have. I love the highlights down the kind of bone material, and they're translucent, which is super, super nice. I think the way that these look is the way that the Ghidorah 2019 wing should have looked, so you could have given it a light up effect, but, you know, I'm not paid by Tamashi, so don't take my ideas. All right, so the articulation on Gigan is nice in some areas and not in others. The mandibles open up nice, but the mouth doesn't fully open and doesn't fully close, and that's kind of a problem. I personally wish it opened a little bit wider, and I think just like everyone else, I wish it closed a little bit more. The neck articulation, though, is for the most part nice, except that bottom neck piece is very limited. The head rotates nice and fine. You can get him in the poses you want him to do, even with that tight joint. Speaking of really fucking tight joints, these shoulders are just absolutely ridiculous. The elbows, though, that the double barbell peg that's in the top of the elbow and the bottom here is nice. It allows the arm sickles to rotate, and they also kind of have their own joint, like it's their own separate shoulder. The buzzsaw does not articulate, so don't try. The legs, once again, super tight. This one moves back really far, and they can go up pretty far, more than a lot of them. The knees are super nice. They can go 90 degrees almost, and the feet can go down really flat, but they can't go up at all, and that annoys me. There's some poses I'd like to get to, and it just doesn't look natural. Gigan does have a good ankle pivot, though, so at least it kind of makes up for that. But it's still a little frustrating, if I'm being honest. The tail is super articulated. There are a few points on mine that will pop off if I articulate it too much, but it can lay flat, sail side to side, and it can kind of do the Godzilla wavy motion. So the fins here are very, very scary. We all know this. But if you don't happen to know, you have to pull it out before you can articulate it, and then they're still very limited. or at least mine are. They can articulate a little bit. See, kind of a little bit. Not as much as you'd kind of want them to, but they do. I'm just very afraid to mess with these, and I don't think I'm ever going to be doing it very often. With articulation out of the way, let's move to size comparisons. Here he is compared to the SH MonsterArts Godzilla -1. I really am excited to say that these figures scale pretty damn well. -1 is Showa Godzilla size, so the fact that he's kind of within the same range as Gigan really pleases me. It is just a good look. Here we have the Robot Spirits Evangelion Unit 0. I'm just throwing in other articulated figures because it makes sense to compare articulated figures with articulated figures. I love that the Evas are way shorter than Gigan. It would make sense in a stop motion or in a story if you're considering doing that. Finally, we have the SH Figuarts Shinkoho Seiho Ultraman 66, the only Showa Ultraman in the Shinkoho line right now, and even better than the Evas, he is super tiny compared to Gigan. He doesn't look like he would be a threat, and that is awesome. So the final scores for SH MonsterArts Gigan 72 are pretty simple. The paint and sculpt, it gets an 8 because although the sculpt is really good, the paint area can use some help and work in some areas. The articulation, super tight and limited in areas I'd like it to be a little bit more rangeful. I gotta give it a 6 if I'm being honest. But my overall satisfaction for this figure is really high, considering MonsterArts has been kind of hit or miss, at a 7 out of 10. I do recommend you guys pick this up sooner than later. I just got a feeling this guy is going to be rare like Mechagodzilla in the future. That's it, everyone. Thank you guys for watching. Please consider liking the video, commenting down below, and subscribing, and I'll see you guys in the next review.